Have you ever found yourself trapped in the endless labyrinth of your thoughts? A place where each corridor you explore only loops back to where you began. It often feels like you're trying to unravel a knot, yet each tug only makes it tighter. Overthinking, that incessant cycle of contemplation that seems to strangle your present with the ghosts of past mistakes and future uncertainties. We all experience it, but how do we navigate it? How do we find peace in the tumultuous sea of our own mind? Buddhism offers us a profound map for this inner journey. Imagine, for a moment, you are sitting by a tranquil pond. The surface is perfectly still, reflecting the world with clarity. But then, a pebble is tossed into the water, and the reflection shatters into a million ripples. Overthinking is like a storm of pebbles upon the reflective pond of the mind. It distorts, overwhelms, and obscures the serenity beneath. Gautama Buddha, the emblematic sage of over 2,500 years ago, understood this human condition deeply. Legend tells of the evening he achieved enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree. He confronted the demon Mara, the embodiment of delusion. Mara unleashed his most fearsome weapon, doubt. Doubt mixed with desire, fear, and uncertainty, elements familiar to any of us, ensnared by overthinking. Yet Buddha, with an unwavering focus, simply touched the earth with his right hand and claimed the ground on which he sat, grounding himself in the present, in the now. The teachings he passed down empower us to do the same. They invite us to reclaim our present moment from the clutches of overthinking. To start, let's dive into one of Buddhism's most poignant lessons, mindfulness. Mindfulness is an art, a practice of anchoring yourself in the present. It is not merely awareness, it is a deliberate, non-judgmental attendance to the here and now. Imagine going through life observing your thoughts as though they are clouds passing across the sky. You acknowledge their presence without the need to wrestle them down. Consider the busy streets of a bustling city. This city is your mind on a typical day, bustling, chaotic, filled with the noise of traffic, of hurried footsteps, of 1,000 conversations. Now envision retreating from this hustle to a quiet park amidst the urban sprawl. Here, you find a bench and sit. You are aware of the city's thrumming vibrance all around, yet there is stillness within you. This bench is mindfulness. It is carving out a peaceful refuge in the heart of chaos. By practicing mindfulness, you begin to notice the impermanence of your thoughts. After all, thoughts are just that, thoughts. They are not who you are. They do not define you, nor do they have the power to control you, unless you give them dominion. You begin to see how thoughts come and go, much like visitors at the doorstep of your awareness. Let's take this practice a step further into the realm of meditation, not as a rigorous discipline, but as a gentle journey inward. When you meditate, you close your eyes to the external world to open them to your internal one. You observe your breath, that simple act that sustains life from moment to moment. In doing so, you draw yourself back to the present reality, a lifeline away from the torrent of overthinking. Siddhartha Gautama, in his awakening, discovered a profound truth about desire and suffering. Overthinking often stems from desire for things to be different than they are, for the future to hold certainty, for the past to yield only good memories. Meditation helps us confront these desires without fear or judgment. In its silence, we learn to tame the mind's restless churn, akin to quieting a turbulent sea until it mirrors the sky above. Let's shift focus to an ancient tale from the life of Emperor Ashoka. Known as Ashoka the Great, he was one of India's most renowned rulers, who initially waged war with fervor and ambition. Yet, upon witnessing the suffering his conquests inflicted, he underwent a profound transformation. Ashoka embraced Buddhism and became a force of peace. His tale is one of the potency of clarity emerging from the fog of overthinking. His reign turned towards healing and construction rather than destruction and conquest, a powerful reminder of the change that can occur when clarity prevails over chaos. The journey from overthinking to understanding is not always linear. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. This path requires us to cultivate another tenet of Buddhism: compassion. Self-compassion, in particular, is essential. It is the gentle understanding that you are human, that these mental challenges are shared across the breadth of humanity. Imagine your mind as a garden. Overthinking often feels like unending thorny brambles choking an otherwise beautiful space. Through self-compassion, you do not harshly uproot these brambles, but rather tend to them with kindness. You acknowledge their existence, understanding they are not permanent fixtures. This internal kinship allows you to slowly cultivate the garden of your mind, and in doing so, you create space for peace to flourish. So often in life, we become our harshest critics, allowing mistakes or regrets to hound us long after their utility. Self-compassion invites you to treat yourself with the same care and forgiveness you might offer a dear friend. After all, what is overthinking if not the mind's insistence that you must solve everything now? Yet, you are not required to have all the answers at once. Giving yourself permission to not know, to be imperfect, can relieve a great deal of mental strain. These teachings echo throughout time, resonating from the ancient monasteries of Tibet to the contemporary Hume of our modern world. They challenge us to integrate practices like mindfulness, meditation, and compassion into the tapestry of our daily lives. Picture a moment in your day where overthinking often creeps in. Perhaps as you lay in bed at night, the world around you quiet, yet your mind is anything but still. Instead of pushing against the tide of thoughts, imagine greeting each thought with, "I see you, but I am not you." This act creates a buffer space, a gentle distance, allowing you to simply observe without immersing into the emotional undertow. The lessons from Buddhism teach that life is not about the absence of problems, but about our capacity to deal with them effectively. This understanding nurtures resilience, the ability to bounce back amidst adversity. Think of Thomas Edison, the great inventor who failed thousands of times before perfecting the electric light bulb. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His resolve was powered by a clear mind, unswayed by the overthinking that might paralyze others. It is a lesson to embrace setbacks as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. In our digitally connected world, it is easy for overthinking to take a lead role, fed by the constant stream of information and comparison. We scroll through curated lives on social media, often forgetting that what we see is but a fraction of someone else's reality. We compare our behind the scenes to their highlight reels, and our thoughts spiral as we question our worth, our potential, our futures. Breaking free from overthinking in this context involves intentional disengagement. Imagine taking a day or even just part of a day to unplug from the digital feed. Walk in nature, read a book, engage wholly in a hobby. Without the barrage of external stimuli, the mind can breathe, expand, and find its natural rhythm again, akin to a garden regaining its lushness after a season of drought. There is an enthusiasm in Buddhism towards finding the middle way, a path that avoids the extremes of indulgence and asceticism. This principle applies to overthinking as well. It encourages us to recognize when our thoughts serve us and when they ensnare us. Overthinking often veers into territory where the solutions we seek are not to be found. It's akin to searching for the keys under a street lamp simply because the light is better there, even though you lost the keys elsewhere. The middle way invites you to seek balance, to allow thoughts to flower without letting them overshadow the sunlit garden of your awareness. One practical exercise in achieving this balance can be journaling. At the end of each day, write down your racing thoughts, unfettered and unfiltered. Here, in this space, your thoughts find a sanctuary outside of your mind. Once articulated on paper, they often lose their haunting power, revealing themselves as paper tigers, formidable in appearance, yet harmless in substance. Within the realm of overthinking, there is also the significant aspect of acceptance. It is perhaps the hardest rung to climb on this ladder towards peace. Acceptance does not mean resignation, but acknowledging the present moment as it is. From here, we hold the power to choose our responses rather than reacting out of impulse. Acceptance is the quiet courage to face reality without the mire of construing it as something it is not. In closing this exploration, allow yourself to reflect on what your present feels like without the weight of extraneous thought. Envision a room filled with old furniture, each piece representative of an old thought lingered upon time and time again. Slowly, through mindfulness, meditation, and self-compassion, you begin to clear this room. A table removed, a chair reassigned elsewhere, until spaciousness incorporates into your inner world, light filtering through once congested spaces, allowing for clarity and peace to finally settle in. If this message resonated with you, like this video and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you want to continue learning, subscribe to the channel. Let's walk this journey together, one lesson at a time.